Russia's Moskva Cruiser reportedly sunk by Ukrainian Neptune missiles. Please like and share the video, and subscribe to the channel. How, in all that is considered as holy by religious people, could the Russian 12,000-ton Moskva Cruiser armed with 6 AK-630 close-in weapon system, 2 Osa-M surface-to-air missile systems and 64 S-300F Fort surface-to-air missiles be sunk by 2 Ukrainian R360 Neptune Anti-Ship Missiles? And that is what seems to have happened. Russia is not admitting that the Moskva was struck by the Neptunes. But they did admit that a fire had broken out and that it was later sunk. Despite Russia's silence so far, I think that is what could have happened, based on 2 facts. First is that it was the Ukrainians in April 13, 2022 that first announced that their missiles hit the ship. It was only later that Russia talked about it. Second, Russia has not shown any video or picture of the vessel that could have independently verified what kind of damage was inflicted on the ship. I think they didn't, because if they did, it would have confirmed that it had, indeed, been sunk by missiles. The Moskva is a Slava-class cruiser. It is a pretty big ship at 186 meters long and a displacement of over 12,000 tons. It is in fact the lead ship of that class of cruiser. However, it is a pretty old one. It first entered service in the 1980s. And because it is an old design, there are no stealth aspects incorporated into it. So it is a pretty big ship with no stealth features, so it must have been an easy target to spot for the sensors of the Neptune missiles. The Neptune is also based on an old design, the Soviet-era KH-35. However, internally and particularly its avionics are of the latest generation, as it only entered service with the Ukrainian Armed Forces last year, in 2021. It uses an active radar seeker to spot and guide it to its target, and that seems new in terms of design and hardware. Take note also that it is a subsonic missile, unlike the supersonic BrahMos missiles that were bought recently under the Duterte administration, and from what I understand, the Ukrainians didn't even use a radar-equipped maritime patrol aircraft. They just used the passive, relatively short-ranged optical sensors of their TB2 Bayraktar drones to spot the Moskva, get its targeting information and relayed it to the shore-based Neptune missiles. So basically what supposedly happened is this: the old Moskva ship was spotted and tracked by the Bayraktar drones, which then relayed its position and heading to the shore-based Neptune missiles. The missiles, equipped with the latest generation sensors, were able to easily find the large and unstealthy Moskva and score a hit or hits on it. However, I can't shake the feeling that something else might be at play here. Why couldn't the Moskva, for example, shoot down the Bayraktars and Neptunes with all of its very capable anti-air weapons? It's possible something else is involved in this incident. But I am not sure yet exactly what. Maybe it was a different type of missiles that hit the Moskva. That is a possibility. That could be the reason why the Russians are still keeping silent about what really happened so far. They also suspect something is wrong and are still investigating and trying to find evidence. At any rate, do svidaniya, or farewell to the Moskva. Thank you for watching the video. I invite you again to like and share it, and subscribe to the channel.